the basic knowledge of your research. So you need to attain a physical exam. Okay, so the physical exam will test like statistic, probability, and optimization. And the duration, we haven't decided the duration. It will be like 5 or 6 hours. Okay, so that is our tentative plan, but we haven't finalized it. Okay, so for this new format of QE1, we will set 2 marks. One is the dismissal mark, cutoff mark. If like, okay, after you take the exam, your total mark falls below this dismissal cutoff mark, then you will be dismissed. Okay, and we will also set a re-examination cutoff mark. If your total mark is between the dismissal cutoff mark and the re-examination cutoff mark, then your scholarship, if you have scholarship, then your scholarship will be suspended and you will be required to retake in the next year. And next year, if your mark is still below the re-examination cutoff mark, then you will be dismissed. Okay, so that will be our new QE1 and our new requirement for QE1. Okay, and QE2 has been quite standard in almost every department. Okay, so for QE2, the requirement is that you need to pass QE1. Okay, and I think there's some typo here. You need to clear all the modules that you are required to take. Okay, and then you need to prepare a research proposal. Okay, and then you need to present your research proposal to your thesis advisor and also your panel, which is called thesis advisory committee. Okay, and then they will evaluate the quality of your proposal and either pass or fail your QE2. Okay, if they decide to fail your QE2, if your attempt is unsuccessful, your scholarship might be suspended and the department can arrange you for re-examination within 3 months. Okay, and a requirement is that all QEs must be completed within 2 years from the date of registration in order to continue your research, your scholarship, your research scholarship. Okay, so here's a list of modules provided by our department and also modules from other departments that you can consider to take. Okay, and these modules range from optimization, statistics, and probability, those methodological modules, as well as application modules. Okay, and these modules, some of them are offered by ISEM department and some of them are actually offered by business school or school of computing. So you have a wide spectrum of modules to choose, but before you choose the modules, you need to discuss with your supervisors. You need to discuss with your supervisor to get the consent from your supervisor, because taking modules should be useful for your research, especially if you are already at a stage of your PhD study. Okay, so next is our admission criterion. Okay, so the requirement is that, okay, if you apply to us, then if you apply to our PhD program, okay, we have a cutoff. The cutoff, if you graduate from NUS, like if your bachelor degree is from NUS, then our requirement is that your CAP should be at least 4.0. Okay, so this means that our benchmark is second upper honor in NUS engineering graduates. So if your bachelor degree is not from NUS, then we use this benchmark to decide a cutoff. Like if you graduate from an university in China or India, then we will use this one as a benchmark to decide on a cutoff. So there is a cutoff based on university. Like if you graduate from like tier 1 university, our cutoff for your CAP And if you graduate from tier 2 university, we also have a cap, a cutoff. So that is the requirement on your cap. And the second requirement from next year on, we also require GRE. Okay, so GRE is required if you do not graduate from NUS, NTU, SMU, and SUTD with the highest distinction honor. Okay, and highest distinction honor means that your cap is not lower than 4.5. Okay, and except for these universities, then you need to take GRE. GRE is compulsory. Even if you have already graduated from our MSc program or MEng program with very high cap, you are still required to take GRE. Okay, so here is some past data. Okay, so before 2000, ISEM consists of two directions. One is ISC, the other is ETM. We merged in 2017, okay, or 2018. Okay, so this is before 2018, the data from 2006 to 2017 are the graduation size for ISE track. Okay, so the data shows that our program is a small program. We don't have too many students graduate every year. Okay, and so in previous years, we have quite a number of MEng students, because in the old days, like 10 years or 15 years ago, we still provide scholarship for MEng, but now we don't provide scholarship for MEng anymore, according to my understanding. So you can see that there are quite few MEng students for now. Okay, and the number of PhD students is quite stable, although some fluctuation. Okay, around 10 to 12 per year. Okay, and after 2018, so 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, these are the size of graduate students from ISE track and also ETM track. Okay, so here are the data for ETM. ETM stands for Engineering Technology Management. It is a small program. Okay, so before 2007, they have their own PhD and MEng program. Okay, and you can see it is a very small program. Okay, so after ISE and ETM merge, then the data is here. Actually, doesn't change too much. Okay, and here is some more data to show you the selectivity, but not very representative, because previously the department has PhD quota, and then the department will interview, will choose, will look through the application materials of all the applicants in the pool, and then select a few candidates to interview. So that was what practice in the old days, but now the department doesn't have PhD quota anymore. The PhD quota is assigned to each individual. So each individual, if you have a PhD quota, then you might advertise by yourself and then encourage those candidates who are interested in your research to apply. So actually the numbers here are not very informative. Okay, so next is the employment. So if you like join our PhD or MEng program, then I think the most important question to ask is that after you graduate from our program, which type of job can you take on? Okay, so normally there are two options. One is academia, the second is industry. Okay, so if you are going to pursue an academic R&D and also academic career, then definitely you can join the academia by starting from lecturer or assistant professor. So PhD students, the PhD graduates from our department are actually quite successful in the academia. They have become faculty members in in China, in like Australia, in the Europe, or also in the US. Okay, and if you decide to join the industry, which is also a very popular outlet, because in ISE we do research in like supply chain, logistics, and also data analytics, and these topics are actually very hot in the industry for now, and so many of our graduates also decide to join the industry, and then they can get very high starting salary. Okay, and if they join the industry, then they can go to like manufacturing, finance, healthcare, IT, or can even be software engineer, so on and so forth. Okay, especially like data analytics. Recently, data analytics is quite hot, and quite a few faculty members in our department are working on data analytics, and their PhD students, if they are willing to join the industry, they can get a very good package. Okay, like, and they can go to the high-tech companies like Grab or Shopee and get a very good pay. And then next is our research area. So in our department, actually our research is not so diverse. Okay, so in ISC, our research is to improve the performance of the existing system. Okay, so usually what we are doing is analytic. It's analytic rather than doing some real experiment to create materials or create a real system. We don't do that. We just increase the performance of an existing system. And based on the definition of system, different people will work on different systems. Okay, like the system can be a real system, a manufacturing system, right? Or like an infrastructure or financial engineering, financial system, and also like the maritime, port, inventory, supply chain, right? So on and so forth. These can also, all of these are systems. Okay, so based on different systems, different people are working on, we have quite a few research areas. Okay, so we can do like decision, because if you want to improve the system, you need to help improve the decision. Okay, like how to optimize the supply chain, how to optimize the inventory. Okay, and we also deal with risk, because if you are dealing with real scenario, then you need to handle risk and uncertainty every day. Okay, so because we need to do decision, so optimization is important, because we need to consider risk and uncertainty. Probability and statistics become important in our department. So that is why just now you see that we have 3 compulsory modules. One is on optimization, statistics, and the third is on probability. Okay, and we also do like stochastic simulation, operation research, optimization, data analytics, reliability engineering, quality engineering. Okay, technological innovation, urban system, global logistics, so on and so forth. Okay, all these research areas, although they look somewhat different, but actually they are not very diverse. Okay, the purpose is the same, to improve the performance of a system. Okay, and in terms of research funding, ISEM is a small department, but actually we are quite successful in securing research fundings from both internal and external. Okay, so I did a statistic several days ago to update the number. Okay, so from 2018 to last month, okay, our department has secured about 24 million Singapore dollar funding. Okay, and external grant is about 37 million. Okay, I didn't do a very accurate calculation, because the external and internal grants are somewhat mixing. So I'm not able to differentiate them very clearly, but I just do a back of the envelope calculation and come up with these numbers. Okay, and I also choose some representative projects here with a large grant size. Okay, so they range from like port operation, carbon dioxide, reduction of carbon dioxide, and so on and so forth, and digital twin, okay, which is a buzzword recently. And here are some selected awards in recent years. I don't have the latest data, so I just use the data I have. Okay, so the research in our department has been recognized locally and globally. So locally, we have got like Best Teacher Award, and globally, we have got like Best Paper Award from prestigious journals in industrial engineering, and so on and so forth. Okay. Okay. And our department also links to some professional organizations locally and globally. So locally, we have intimate relationship with like IES or Operation Research Society of China of Singapore, and International Council of System Engineering, the INCOSE Singapore chapter, and also IEEE TMC chapter in Singapore, and Singapore Quality Institute, so on and so forth. Okay, and we also link to research institutes internationally. Okay, so here's research institute in Singapore, like SIMTech, IHPC, okay, and also University Research Institute like IORA or TDSI, Center for Maritime Study, Energy Study Institute, Global Asia Institute, so on and so forth. Okay, and because of the excellent research in our department, we have actually created a few centers, and here you can see the centers. 3 centers. One is Center for Excellence in Modeling and Simulation of Next Generation Ports, and Center for Next Generation Logistics, Virtual NUS. Okay, and there are also some research programs like NUS Create program on the future resilient systems. Okay, and we have a SEMCOP NUS collab. We also participate in this lab, and also NUS ST engineering program on advanced digital technology research. So because of our research objective to improve the performance of an existing system, so we actually have very close collaboration with the industry, okay, like healthcare, transportation, government agency, and also like some asset-rich companies like Changi Airport, so on and so forth. At the end, okay, you might ask if you want to join or if I want to apply to the PhD program or MEng program, then who should I approach? Okay, so my suggestion is, first of all, you definitely should submit your application to our department. And the second thing to note is that, okay, in addition to submit your application, you also need to contact a supervisor to ensure that the supervisor is interested in you, and second, they have scholarship. Okay, so scholarship is usually allocated at a very late stage, but here I have 2 pieces of news for you. One is Dr. Wang Guanyi, who is a new faculty member in our department, has 1 PhD quota for next semester intake, and he is interested in machine learning and integer programming. And the second staff is Dr. Qin Hanzhang, who will join next January, and he is an expert in supply chain and logistics. He has 1 PhD quota for the next August intake. Okay, so if you are interested in their research, okay, you can contact them. And for other people in our department, okay, there's not guarantee that other people can have a PhD quota. Okay, and the last thing to know is the tuition fee. If you are interested in doing a PhD, but you cannot get a scholarship, then you have to pay the tuition fee and also the living expense by yourself. Okay, and here is the tuition fee I cut from the NUS website, but it is not finalized. Okay, so please do check the final tuition fee when you apply. Okay, so like engineering, according to what I find in NUS website, engineering is CDE is here, right? The so tuition fee for single permanent resident international student is about 41,000. Okay, so that is pretty much of it, and I shall stop here. And any question? Yinan asks, where can I find the PhD quota information in NUS website? No, you cannot find the information because it is by allocation. And actually, for me, I don't know. If I have PhD quota or not for next August intake. We will know this at a very late stage, like at least next February or next March. Yes, and just now I have shared that 2 faculty members in our department will have quota. That is because they are new. Okay, they are new faculty members in our department. So for every new faculty member in our department, they will have 1 quota every year for consecutively 2 years. So that is for sure. Okay, except for new faculty members, other people actually do not have confirmed quota, So that is why actually we don't know. Even like if you ask me, do I have? I have no answer for you.
Hi, Prof. Yeah, based on your presentation earlier, right? Because I attended yesterday's talk on MSc as well by Prof. Chen Nan.
Okay.
So for this Masters in Engineering, right, instead of PhD, so the main difference is only that there's the research component.
Yes.
Okay. So is there any like difference, like in terms of like prospects, career prospects between the two? That means like
so if like MSc, right? MSc you just need to take the module. So you just passively accept what teacher teaches you. And for MEng, you also need to actively do some research. So it is like kind of like preparing your R&D capability. Okay, so if you choose MSc, you just need to take the module, so you learn how to use those tools, right? But you actually don't have a chance to create something new. When you create something new, we call it an R&D.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, Prof. One more question.
Okay.
So even for masters in engineering, the minimum cut-off benchmark is second upper.
For MEng, I think the cutoff is 3.5, right? Yeah. So the cutoff is 3.5. PhD is 4.0, and MEng is 3.5. The cutoff.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
So what is your cap? If your cap is lower than this, then you need your supervisor to provide a very strong justification.
Now still now second lower. Second lower. Yeah, so it's more than 3.5.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, and for MEng, I still need to remind you, you need to contact your supervisor, because the procedure is that you need to contact one supervisor, and then the supervisor interviews you, and then push your case up to the department. Then the department will interview your case.
Okay. So what if because I'm not a full-time student, I'm taking BTech from Scale. Okay, so it's a part-time IME. So it's actually under the same department. So the question is, do we follow the same procedure, or do we just apply then wait for the outcome?
Okay, so don't just apply and wait for the outcome. If you apply, then there's no outcome. You need to contact a supervisor.
Oh, so even for masters, for the masters program, then I will also need to.
For the Master of Engineering program, you need to contact a supervisor.
Oh, the same lah. So it's
Same.
the same process.
Yeah.
Okay.
For MSc, you just apply and wait.
Ah, okay. Can.
Yeah.
No problem.
So for MEng, you need to apply and seek.
Ah.
Okay. Otherwise, you will get a rejection for sure.
Oh, so you need to
because you are
secure.
not good, because no one is interested in you, right? For research, you need a supervisor. It is not by assignment. It is based on mutual agreement. You are interested in this supervisor. Let supervisor also agree to supervise you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Understand. Thank you.
Chairman Low asks, I am a MSc student. Does it mean I don't need to? So where did you get your bachelor degree? Okay, so whether you can waive GRE or not only depend on your bachelor degree. Where do you graduate? And do you get the highest distinction? Chandler, is it clear? Okay. Even if you are MSc student from ISE and you are you rank number 1, okay, actually it doesn't help for waiving the GRE requirement. Okay. So the waiver of the GRE applies automatically to students whose bachelor degree is from NUS, NTU, SUTD, SMU with highest distinction. Okay, in NUS, it means that your CAP should be at least 4.5. Okay, only your bachelor degree matters. Only your bachelor degree. So even if you are an MSc student in our department, it doesn't count. Lee Anan asks, are there any research scholarship opportunity for MEng? I don't think so. I don't think there is any scholarship for MEng for now. Tony Wong asks, what are the steps again? What type of steps do you mean? To do PhD? Okay, so the requirement is that your CAP should be, if you graduate, if your bachelor degree is from NUS, the CAP should be at least 4.0. Okay, that is, if your CAP is above 4.0, then you are qualified to apply. Otherwise, then you need to contact your supervisor, and then your supervisor need to give you very strong justification to tell us why your CAP is lower than this, but he still or she still strongly support your case. Okay, so that is the first step. Your CAP should be industrial. If you have industrial experience and then you can consider our other programs like IPP or engineering B, MSc in 1997. Okay, so in this case, then you can consider these 2 programs offered by CDE. Okay, so IPP, Industrial Postgraduate Program. Okay, and I think this is a full-time program, and at the end you also need to write a thesis, and this is engineering D and a Doctor of Engineering. Okay, so I think these 2 are more for people who are in the industry already and who want to advance their R&D in the industry and to pursue a professional career rather than academic career. If you want to do industrial R&D, then you can consider these 2 programs, IPP and engineering D. But I think both of them are self-funded. If I am not wrong, there's no scholarship to support. If you want to go into teaching, okay, so then probably you need to you need to apply to the regular PhD program. So in that case, you need to first of all meet the requirement. Second, contact a supervisor to make sure that the supervisor has funding for you, or if you don't require funding, then there will be another story. But no matter you need funding or not, you still need to contact a supervisor who is interested in supervising you. Okay, and then your supervisor will fill some form and push your case up to the department. Then the department will evaluate your case. Okay, and if we feel you are strong enough, then we'll push your case up to CDE, the college level, and then the college will discuss again. So that is the general procedure. But no matter how, you still need to contact a supervisor, because for PhD and MEng, if you are going to do research, you need a supervisor. Okay, supervisor is not by assignment. We don't assign you to a supervisor. Okay, it is by mutual agreement. You are interested in a professor research, and that professor also wants to spend time to supervise you, then we can pay you. Okay, but we don't assign. So that is the most important thing, and actually that is the first step that you need to do. Okay, so thank you for joining us.
Okay, thank you everyone.